you've got nuts, this type of rim creates a bit of an issue. Now let me show you why it does. So let me get the rim back onto this hub and I'll show you. Okay, so when I'm lifting my tire, you guys can't see it, but I've got the tire. The tire is actually on my leg. It's physically on my leg. So let's see if I can show you this. So when I lift this tire, I literally put the tire on my leg. And the reason I put it on my leg is a heck of a lot stronger than my arms. I could lift it with my arms, so why not use my legs? So when I'm lifting this tire and I'm putting it on, look, it's on my leg, and my leg is doing the work, and all my hands are doing is positioning. So now I've got the wheel onto this hub assembly. Watch what I'm gonna do. If I try and catch this bolt, it's kind of recessed into the wheel. So when the bolt is recessed into the wheel, it's kind of hard for me to catch it, right? I've kind of got to play with it, and it's hard for me to catch. So what do you do? When you're catching bolts, or nuts for that matter, on a rim like this, where everything is recessed into the rim, use a socket, right? So get your bolt. I use a different bolt. Get your bolt, okay, or your nut on a socket. Once you find the hole, okay, you can move the wheel around, and then once you've got this caught, move on. Oops, sorry, it hasn't even caught. Move on to the next. So I've caught this one. What I normally do is I catch them all by hand first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all 5 are caught now by hand. Now I can take my impact gun and I can zap them up, okay? Once I zap them up, car's gonna come down, and we're gonna use a torque wrench to torque up all 5 bolts. That one's done. We're gonna go over to the other side. We'll do the same thing. And I'm gonna catch it up. Car's gonna come down. And what are we gonna do? We're gonna torque them up. I think I've already showed you how you torque the wheels. But let's show it anyhow again. Why? What? I'm making an instructional video. I might as well show you guys what I'm doing. And what can you guys do? You guys can make reference to it. I'm going to take off my socket and use that for the bolt. Get our tire on, and because we've got an angle a little bit further away, socket, bolt, that one's ready. I'm going to use my leg. I'm going to use my leg to put that rim on it. Then you can see I can lift it with my arms, no problem. But if I put it on my leg, makes it easier. I just kind of lift it up with my leg. Good, it's on. Let's find the holes. Rotate my wheel on my hub. It's my fault, guys. I didn't look. Let me check to see where my holes are. Normally I try and line up the rim with the bolts on the hub, but I didn't. I wasn't checking. So I got it lined up on the hole. And guys, you have to always think when you're trying to catch a bolt into the nut, if you do not find the hole and you don't have that bolt centered to the nut, it's not going to go in. So one of the things I show people in class is we've got a hole. The only way the bolt is going in is if it's centered in the hole. If it's not, it's going to bounce off the outside and it's not going to go in. So you got to find that nut hole so that the male piece of hardware, which is your bolt, goes in, then you can screw it in, okay? So I found the hole, and then now it's just a matter of moving the rim around, finding my other 4 holes, and once I've caught 2 guys, the rest are going to be lined up, okay? And we always, always, always catch all the bolts first, and then we tighten them. So you never ever want to do this. You never want to catch your first bolt and then just tighten it Because now, if the other 4 bolts aren't caught, what's going to happen is once you've tightened up that one bolt, the rim might not be lined up. So the hole in the rim might not necessarily be lined up with the hole in the hub. And if they're not lined up, the bolt won't go through because it's got to go to the hole in the rim plus the hole in the hub to catch the threads that are in the hub. All right? All 4 are caught by hand. And once you catch them by hand, then you can catch them with the gun. And one of the things that we practice, I might see some of you guys next year. One of the things that we practice is listening to what we're doing. So when I tighten these up, I do not hammer these on really tight with the gun. I just do this. So it sounds like it's tightened. I'm good. Listen to this. As soon as the gun stops, the bolt is tight because we're always going to tighten it by hand with the torque wrench. At 3, 4, 5. Now, I tell you guys this, and because I've got this video, you must do this. So the original bolt or nut that you started with, guys, all right, you always have to go back to it because what's happened is you tightened it, but now this one, this one, this one, and this one were tightened. And what's happened is my rim is now flat onto my hub. So now they're matched. Watch this. Even though I think I got this one tight, it's still loose. And look, got my socket. Let's see if it's tight. Nope. I can still back it up by hand because it didn't go all the way in, so it didn't seat. All right. So we always go back to our original nut or our bolt, okay, and then we just tighten it up. So I know we had 5 bolts, but I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going back to the original bolt. That'll be 6. So now I've caught all 6. The next thing that we've got to do, set up our torque wrench. The torque on these rims is 90. It's 90. I think when I checked, it was 92 foot-pounds. Okay. So I'm going to set up my torque wrench. How do I set up my torque wrench? I release the handle right here, the locking handle, and I just spin this. Okay. So I'm going to spin it. I'm going to set it to 92. Let's see where we are. Foot-pound. We're only at 60. So I'm literally taking the handle head. Let me just show you what I'm doing. I'm turning the handle. Okay. By turning head, it's the same as turning the handle. I'm looking at my numbers. We're at 90 right now. So if I show you this, I've got the 0 lined up with the line for 90 on this. And I know you guys can't see because I can't get that close. So then what I do is I do this. I count because I've only got the 0. If I go all the way to 95, there's a 5. 4, 3, 2, I lock it. Okay. So I've got it set to 90 plus there should be a 2 here, but the 2 is no longer on here, right? There'd be a 3 and a 4. So I've got it set right now to 92. The torque to rims doesn't take a lot because we've got a nice long handle, and the longer the handle, okay, the more the torque we can produce. Bringing the car down, we're going to torque the sucker up. All right, car's going to come down. It's so quiet in the shop, you can hear the springs. Right? Those are the springs making all that creaking noise. So let me just show you what I do. Let's just bring the camera down. Okay. To torque the wheels, guys, it's very, very simple. All right. I'm just going to put this on. And what I tell people is, when you're doing this job, you don't want to be on your knees. You could if you want, okay? But you want to stand up so then that way you can put your shoulder weight and power into this. And what we do is we always hold the torque wrench as far back as possible on the handle because that gives you more leverage. So listen to what I'm going to do. You tighten the wheels, okay? And we don't have to worry about, you do not have to worry about tightening the bolts in a star pattern or crisscross, okay? We've already tightened them with the gun. We're just simply torquing them by hand. Double check. So listen, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And did you see how I actually turned this wrench a few, like turn it? So it went from about here. I turned down before it clicked. Guys, this is the reason why we always double check everything in this shop by hand, because I want to make sure that when the stuff leaves the shop, there's no questions. Sorry guys, I'm looking at something on the floor that I've never seen before. I don't know what's there. Oh, it's a big old pipe that I never seen before. All right, so this wheel is now torqued. I'm going to go to the other side. I'm not going to bring the camera. We're just going to hear the clicks. 5 clicks, and it was done. We've torqued it. We set a torque wrench, and when we're done with the torque wrench, what do? We back it up. We've got, oh my God, we've got no more time. It's 1:45. I'll just tighten up the other one. You guys will hear the 5 clicks. Three, 4, 5. That was done. Now, the last thing that we've got to do, guys, is you've got to take the torque handle and you've got to back it off. So again, we're going to release the lock. That's the lock. And we're going to back it off. And we always back off our torque wrench all the way down. And the reason why we back off the torque wrench is by backing it off, we take pressure off the internal spring that's inside this torque wrench, okay? 11:47, well, we came back at 10:33 anyhow. Guys, thanks very much for being here with me today. I will see you guys